Howdy. We are going to reroot some braids on a G3 Monster High doll. So this is obviously Clawdeen. This is from the Ghoul Spirits 6-pack. I happened to grab an extra of her, so I really wanted to see what she looked like with some braids. These are 2mm braids. These are great for Monster High and Rainbow High. They're okay for Barbie. I honestly recommend our slightly smaller braids, either our 1.5 or our 1 mil, or if you really like a color that's 2 mil, I would just kind of add it as highlights throughout the hair, and then mostly do 1.5 or 1 mil, if that makes sense. But 2 mil is great for Monster High and Rainbow High, larger such dolls, just because of the size of the heads. Because the 2 mil are decent sized braids, and we're gonna make some decent sized holes in her head because of it. So this actually is braided in, let's see, 3 colors. It's a very light lavender, a darker lavender, and then a beautiful metallic shimmer dark blue. So this one is called Lavender Ocean. One of the most important things to do before rerooting a head in braids, you might even want to take this practice up with all heads. It's totally up to you. I do it on heads where, you know, after you've pulled the hair out, and sometimes they've got some like gaping holes that have just happened from pulling the hair out. So Clawdeen didn't have any of those, but she did have some pretty big holes. And we're going to be making new holes because we're using braids, and braids where you can't follow an exact rooting pattern with braids because they're just too large. And so what I did is I waited until I got water to a rolling boil, and then I popped her head in there for 5 minutes. And that's how you get these much smaller hole sizes. So I highly recommend doing that before. You could also treat it with liquid fusion, but the thing that's nice about the hot water is it doesn't require a purchase. We usually have liquid fusion available in our store in case you, let's say you tried doing it without the hot water technique and you punched a hole in it. Then liquid fusion is great for that because you can use liquid fusion in the middle of the rerooting process. Okay, enough talking. Let's get to rooting. I know that a lot of people like to root on this stand, and that's awesome. I personally, it's not my thing. So like, it's not that you can't, it's just that I personally am not huge on it. All right, what I'm holding here is 1 ounce, and I'm not cutting it. So cutting it will give it about shoulder length hair. And I love my braids to be long. I have a number 3 needle. As you can see, this is quite large compared to the 7s or the 5s. Okay, so this is the big difference when it comes to rooting braids. If I can get it to focus. Okay, the biggest difference is right here. So we're not going to loop it because that makes it too bulky, and the hole would be huge in the head because it's already going to be pretty big. Sorry, she's still a little wet from, I just pulled her out of the hot water just a couple minutes ago. So, and you kind of have to twist it a little bit sometimes with these larger needles, but see how much space that takes up? So what that means is you are going to be rooting less holes, aka it goes faster. I get really intimidated by Monster High heads just by their size. And so I enjoy doing braids on their heads just because it just makes it a little more realistic. Okay, See, I put a little bit of space in between the two. You want to space them out because they need that space. If not, they're going to kind of pile on top of each other and get really bulky. And nobody wants bulky braids. Just like that. It's so easy. So it's easier than straight. Also, again, you don't have to divide it, similar to the curly. The curly you do have to pull apart. Nice thing about braids is it's already separated for you. It's already pre-braided. You just gotta literally just pop it in like that. It's so easy. I think it's gonna look really cute on her. We'll do a couple more plugs and then I will finish her off camera because obviously it's gonna take a hot minute, even with it being braids. Let's space it out just a little. I might put it a little close. I might try to space it a little bit closer to her hairline, you know, because that's where it's really important space-wise. Just trying to get it even. Nope, that's too far. So fun and easy. I love working with braids. If you get intimidated, if you like the idea of rerooting but hate how long it takes, braids are for you. All right, let's work on her off camera and then you can see what she looks like when she's closer to being done. Okay, real quick guys, obviously I'm not even close to being done. I just went around and did her hairline. But I noticed, because I'm planning on doing her part a little bit, probably not that far back, but I do want her to have a little bit of a part. I noticed that this looked like it might be starting to rip just because of that hole there. And so I'm gonna err on the side of caution and add some liquid fusion. So I thought I'd just show how I apply that really quick when you don't have a hole yet. Use your very expensive application tool. I just dipped it right in. And I'm just doing it over the top. I am going to take it all the way down, just because I don't know how long I'm going to do the part line. Get a little bit more. And we're going to let this dry overnight. Actually, it might be, yeah, it might be close to 24 hours before I can get back to it. But that will give it plenty of time. I've gone back and done a reroot as fast as maybe like 3 hours after I've applied liquid fusion. So you can get away with doing it. Honestly, the longer you can wait, the better. So, okay, there we go. One last thing. Hopefully, if anything else comes up, I will make sure to mention it. What do you guys think? Okay, so the part line is a really easy concept because I just used one braid and I punched it in the center and then put one side of the braid this way and one side of the braid that way. So super simple way to do a part line using braids, because you can't really go in and do 2 plugs per hole. Her hair is a little heavy though, with this many braids on. Sorry. It's a little bit heavy, but She'll be fine. So let's really quickly, because we can only do this in one take. So I've got the extension on my styling stand so that her hair, oh, look at that. Oh, so nice. Oh, that's going to be really cute when that's dry. Already looks cute. Just helps it lay down some more. And if you notice, like the hair, so he's kind of doing that a little bit at the ends. I'll probably dunk that in some hot water for a few seconds to get it to lay perfectly flat. But there she is. Oh, let's find her eyes. Oh, how cute is that with just one eye? Actually, kind of like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. We're going to be doing more tutorials very soon. Feel free to request in the comments. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.